Alright, so guys, we're back in Frontiers and we're going to be taking a look at Silver from Sonic 06. This is from the 06 character pack mod, along with other mods I'm using on the screen, and as always, it'll be down below in the description for you guys to download. This is 06 version of Silver. It's from, the model is directly from 06, which actually fits surprisingly well in this in this game, because I remember back when before the game came out, I think it was back when the initial trailer came out back at the Game Awards almost 4 years ago, which is crazy. But people are already saying back then, oh, this game should have used the 06 models, because, or something similar, because it fits way more with this art direction, and the current models don't really blend in as well. I mean, I disagree. I do like how these models look in this game, but I do prefer, the current models that we do have. Though we need new models in general, though. Not gonna lie, but I'm gonna try to find a boss. Not that one, I hate that boss. That boss is so annoying. The stupid dogs. But honestly, a Silver open zone game has a lot of potential, just because of his moveset. Not just based off of his 06 moves and stuff, but also his boss fight in Generations. His showcase of powers there was done really well in that game, and ever since we haven't really had a good showcase of what he can do in the games, because he hasn't really done much. In Forces, he didn't do anything at all, got washed, and that was it. But I really think a Silver game could work, especially because yeah, just his moveset has so much potential for a game like this. They could really work. Imagine if I was able to use my kinetic powers on these enemies here, or even on these platforms, to kind of manipulate the level design a bit. Honestly, I think the best route would be to do not just a Silver game by himself, but have Sonic and Shadow be in it as well, to kind of because we haven't had that trio since then, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly think it should be a trio game where you could play as all three of them. But yeah, I haven't played Base Aranos in a while. I've always usually when I go to Aranos, I play the Final Horizon version, but I kind of did want to revisit the base version. This has a lot more 2D than I remember, because I know Chaos Island is notorious for the amount of 2D it has, and that's why I'm hoping in the next game they cut that crap out fully. I'm sick of 2D, bro. It's an open zone game. It shouldn't have 2D in it, bro. Especially in the open zone. For the cyberspace, okay, I get it, even though I'd rather it not be there. But come on, for the open zone, it should be fully 3D. But I do understand why they probably made that decision with Chaos, because once again, they didn't have the proper budget and time that they needed to make this game fully completed, which is why I'm kind of grateful for mods like Sonic Frontiers Revisited, which you should check out my videos for. I've been uploading. I keep messing up there, I don't know why. But yeah, I'm really glad mods like those exist, because those really show what Frontiers could have been if it was given the proper time and yeah, just proper time that it needed to really realize its full potential. But that's why I'm super hopeful for the next game, because they have the time and the resources. Now, it's been about 3 years since Frontiers came out almost, and I'm certain it's probably gonna come out around the same time next year, pretty much in a little over a year from now. So that should, especially because with Frontiers, they had to completely, do this from the ground up. They didn't have a basis. Obviously, they did use Forces for it. For certain elements, you could tell, Forces was used in certain aspects, but this whole open zone stuff, they had to create from the ground up, which, is a first for Sonic, because obviously, it's not the first time anyone's ever made an open world game. But for Sonic, it's something different, because how fast he is, and they had to kind of create a world based around that. You'd either have to make it super big or slow Sonic down, and they kind of What they did is they sold Sonic down, right? Which is why I'm hoping, once again, in the next game, that they, instead of it being like 4, these islands are still really big, but I'm hoping the next game is just like one giant island with a bunch of different areas and things you can do, with platforms that are actually integrated into the world, which is an issue Shadow Generations fixed. But, you know, adding Silver into a game like that honestly would do really well. I'm hoping Sonic, well, yeah, actually not, because I actually do think Sonic would be better being the only playable character in this next game, because I really want them to nail his movement. Because as good as he controls in Frontiers, I do want him to be like more momentum based, like how he was in the adventure games, which they kind of implemented with update 2, but obviously, you know, the movement isn't based around that, like with that movement in mind, like, or the level design isn't based with that movement in mind. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, you'll fly off things you're not supposed to or whatever. But even in SA1 that kind of happens, but that stuff was designed with that movement in mind, right? This game was designed with, obviously, you know, the base movement. Oh, I one-shot it. I know these are the base game enemies, but jeez. I was kind of hoping for a longer fight there. Now for cyberspace, I know some people completely want it gone in the next game. I actually hope it returns, because this has insane potential too. Because look at these level themes here. This one's obviously original, but obviously the majority of it is just reused, which is a shame, because when I originally read of like the cyberspace leaks back when, you know, we first found out about the Sonic Rangers leak back in 2021, after we got the initial teaser, like I was envisioning something like Null Space Run Forces, but like good. Instead we got, you know, this level in particular I really like, because it's, you know, original themes, level design, the music's good, but the majority of it unfortunately isn't like this. But that's why, you know what I'm saying, I want it to come back, because, you know, since they have the time and proper resources to do it properly, they can actually make it how it's supposed to be. Like, I wouldn't want them to completely remove it, because I do like having traditional boost stages in, you know, Sonic games. And Shadow Generations really proved as to why, you know, it should stay. Because in that game they actually locked in and made good boost levels, fixed the controls from cyberspace, everything. So, and with like good level design, longer levels, like they already fixed all the issues, right? Obviously in Shadow Generations they still rehash level themes, but for that game it made sense, because, you know, Shadow Generations, Shadow revisiting, you know, levels from its past and its future technically, because, you know, Chaos Island, Sunset Heights, because at that point in time Forces hadn't happened yet, that took place during Generations. So, but yeah, it made sense in that game, but here, you know, no. It shouldn't. I get, like, in the story, yeah, Sage does mention, I believe, that cyberspace is, you know, based off of Sonic's past, so when he enters it, but it's like, bro, come on. They need to do original level themes. But yeah, I wanted to, you know, kind of run around with Silver a bit. But that's going to be it for today's video. A little bit shorter than the last few videos I've been uploading. But yeah, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, download the mods in the description below. And see you guys in the next video.